Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Set 10 Neutral Review for Gods of the Arcana. In this set, I will go over the neutrals and how they pertain mainly to Abysscraft, although with the small caveat because of the surprising amount of support. I will also be mentioning Angel decks as well, because I suppose in theory you could build Angel decks in Abysscraft, although you can in any craft, so that doesn't make it particularly special, but just kind of give my thoughts and ideas. Otherwise, just kind of in general, the set is kind of very bland for Abysscraft. So near the end, when we start to get more towards the later half of the cards, I probably really won't be talking about many of the Abysscraft decks in general. So just giving a little bit of a heads up. But without any further ado, let's get into it. As always, starting with the card rating, this is partially my opinion and kind of the general sentiment of other people as well. But just for a quick recap, 5 means the card is meta defining or meta warping and is totally needed for its respective deck. 4 is it's a solid card and still needed for its respective deck, just not insane or over the top. 3 is about an average strength card and is usually needed for its respective deck. 2 is it's a good card, but depending on like what you want to do with the deck, you may or may not run it. 1 is it rarely will see play, and it's usually niche for its reason of being added to the deck. And 0 just means it's a garbage card, or there's just not enough cards in general to just have it go, and function. Starting off with a strong card, we got 21 Zelganea the World. It's a 5-cost 5/5 Arcana deity. Fanfare, you can select an enemy follower on the field. If there are no other followers on your own field, you destroy the selected follower and you draw a card. Also has another fanfare of if your leader's life is 10 or less, you give yourself 5 life. And then you can activate for 10 play points while it's in the cemetery. You can banish this from the cemetery, being a little repetitive, but you get the point. Put a 21 Zelganea O Great World from your Evolve deck into your EX area. And then the advanced card, 21 Zelganea O Great World, says at the start of your end phase, if this card is in your EX area, deal 4 damage to each enemy leader and each enemy follower on the field. And Fanfare, you deal 10 to each enemy leader and each enemy follower on the field. So the idea is you want to get Zelganea the World into the cemetery. Once you have 10 play points, you banish the base form, and then you put 21 Zelganea O Great World into your EX area. At the start of your end phases, so after you would spend that, you would deal 4 to each enemy leader and follower, so pretty strong board wipe unless they have like a stronger than average card. And then when you play it onto the board for 10 more play points, presumably on your next turn, you deal 10 damage to each enemy leader and each enemy follower. So all in all, you're dealing 14 damage, which usually will kill your opponent, if not get them very, very close to death. And it's a 10-10, so just very overwhelming stats in general and everything. I rank it as a 2, and this card is very strange, and I'm not saying it's a 2 as in it is a bad card. I feel like I'm probably going to get a couple comments about the ranking, but you got to keep in mind with a rank of 2, that is a good card, but may or may not be run at all in its respective deck. So what I'm trying to say is it's a good card, but because it's so neutral, depending on how you want to build your deck and everything, you just might or might not run it. It is just kind of between, I guess, your wallet decisions and just what you want to do with the deck if you have space. So it's just a very kind of nebulous card that, like, if you want to run it, you can. If you don't want to, like, that's also okay. It is just a very strange card. It is not totally black and white as far as I can tell. And like I said here, as far as best decks, I mean, it seems like it's good for control, Necro Charge, because you could just mill Zelganea into the cemetery, and then once you hit 10 play points, you can just banish it. And I put Sanguine on here. I even saw 1 or 2 Sanguine decks run it. Not a lot of copies, like I think it was about 2. I mean, maybe you could run 3 just so you could see it more. But I could definitely see it with Sanguine because you kind of ping yourself enough that you could regain at least 5 life if you get below 10 when you play them. And then if the game runs late enough, you could just do the late game advance, alternative win condition, I suppose. So it's a very, very strange card that it kind of is it like a jack of all trades sense of like it's strong in general, but it's not meant for like one specific deck in general either. So yeah, it's kind of a card that's been in general pretty hyped for the set. Next up is Starbright Deity, a 3-cost 3/3 Arcana Lightborn that on Fanfare you can reveal a follower in your hand, search your deck for a follower with the same name as the revealed follower, and you put it into your EX area, then shuffle your deck. It evolves for 3 and just has Ward, and on evolve it does get +2/+2. So it's a pretty expensive evolve, but you do get +2/+2, which is nice. Keeps the Ward, and on evolve you can banish a follower from your cemetery to search your deck for up to 2 copies of that follower. And then you put it into your EX area and then shuffle your deck. So it's kind of like this weird tutoring card, but it's kind of okay. Like it's just like not a lot of decks want to get like multiple copies of the same card. I mean, although it's not like a bad thing, but just usually you're just kind of happy with just having a tutor that gives you just like one copy of the card you want. So it seems kind of repetitive to be like, here's a follower in my hand, I'm gonna go grab another copy. Like cool, I guess. Especially for 3, that tends to be when like real threats start to be on the board. Which, granted, I mean, I suppose it has Ward, so at least like you can defend with it. But man, for a 3-cost evolve, I mean, the earliest I suppose you could do that is turn 5 with an Evo point, or turn 6, and by then it just seems like there's just more scary threats. And by then as well, you're usually pretty deep into your deck, where even if you want extra followers from your, that you want in your deck that are in your cemetery to banish, you might have already found like one copy, but I suppose you could always just grab some extra copies of other followers that are only a one of copy in your cemetery to just get them out of the deck. But yeah, this is just a very weird tutor that like, it obviously tutors, so you would think it'd be good, but it kind of it's overly repetitive for what it's looking for. So I really don't know. Like, I was trying to like think, I'm like, what deck would even want this? And it's just like nothing really came to mind. So it's kind of funny how we go from like a really hyped Zelganay of the world to just like Starbright Deity, and it's just like, okay, I guess. All right, and next up we have, I suppose it's Fieron, even though in Japanese it's Phaedon. So I'm not sure how you will pronounce it in English, but I'm just gonna say Farron for the sake of just kind of butchering it all. So if you're not sure, just butcher it, and you'll probably be more right than wrong, I suppose. So, but Phaedon is a 4-cost 2/2 follower that says when playing this card from the EX area, it costs 3 less to play, so it's a 1-cost, and then at the start of your end phase, give +1 attack to each other follower on the field, and Fanfare, select an enemy follower on the field and deal it 4 damage. It's a little expensive. I mean, I suppose 4 damage is nice, which is probably relevant at about turn 4 when you would play her, but there's not a lot of cards that kind of get cards consistently to the EX area, at least in Abysscraft. I'm not 100% sure about other decks. But at least for Abyss, it's kind of okay. And unfortunately, it's not an Angel, so you can't even like try to synergize it with an Angel deck. The +1 attack is kind of irrelevant because most decks are just content with just board wiping for a turn and then moving on. So by turn 4, the opponent's going to have enough play points to be able to play cards to deal with most boards. So Phaedon's stat buff really doesn't really come into relevance. So it's just overall a very mediocre card that just, it feels like by turn 4 there's just better things to play. So I don't see this really being run, but I suppose if you're going to run in anything, it's going to be probably a control deck just for the dealing 4 damage on Fanfare. But even that's just kind of just whatever, you can probably just choose something else to do the same thing for less, like Surefire Bullet, on an Evolve follower. Although I suppose this is not, limited to only Evolve followers, so that's kind of nice. Next up is Fallen Shot. It's a 1-cost Fallen Angel spell that says select an angel follower in your cemetery and an enemy follower on the field, and you put them into their owner's EX area. So it's basically you get an angel follower back, and then they have to push their follower from the field back to their EX area. So if they do want to play it, they have to pay its cost again. a few little nice notes is it can regrab Israfil, Sahakwill, or Angel of Chaos, depending on what you want to do. This is kind of the first Angel card, so a lot of these are just going to be kind of relativistic to Angels. But I certainly probably see this being run as just an easy recursion for Angels. Nothing super crazy that probably would be played outside of Angels, but for Angels at least, it's a good solid addition. All right, and next up is One Wing Trader. It's a 2-cost 2/2 follower that on Fanfare, you look at the top card of your deck. If it's an Angel or Fallen Angel, you can reveal it and add it to your hand. It evolves for 1, and on Evolve, you can select an Angel or Fallen Angel follower on your field and give it +1/+1. So worst case, you give it to itself, and it's a 4/4. This card is actually, like, at least for Angels, obviously, because it's just all clearly meant for Angels. I would say this is like a staple for an Angel deck, which is why I gave it a rank 4, which I know might be like crazy considering I gave the World a 2. But that's why it's like my ranking is kind of a relativistic ranking, not a universal meta ranking. Other than I suppose the meta defining aspect of rank 5. But this card is just basically a free draw for any Angel deck that just goes like pure Angel. And even if you have a couple non-Angels, like it's still like 95% often you're gonna get it. So if you are running an Angel deck, this is like just a staple, at least from what I can tell. And even if you evolve it, it's got baseline stats, so 2-cost 2/2. You play 1 play point to get a 3/3, so you're not even losing any stats on the evolve. And then on evolve, it still can select itself, and so it can become a 4/4 for 3 play points. So the stats are good. Gets rush, gets you a free draw. Like for Angels, this is just like a crazy strong card. So personally 10 out of 10. I'm gonna build Angels just for the fun of it, so I might play a few games with it, just because most of the cards are relatively cheap, so it's not hard to build this deck. But yeah, it just seems like a really strong card for Angels. Next up is Mind Splitter. It's a 2-cost 2/2 Arcana Supreme follower. And on Fanfare, if you have at least 4 followers in your field, you can put the top card of your deck into your EX area. It's kind of just a okay card. Like, I just realized, I was like, oh, you could run it with Yokai, I suppose, to get a free card in the EX area. But yeah, really, other than that, Abysscraft really doesn't tend to spam cards much. So hard to really think of a deck that it really fits into well. And even then with Ginsetsu, it's like you probably can just choose something that's just straight up better than this anyways. But I could certainly see, like I mentioned here, but I could certainly see Swordcraft, with how much they spam out cards very early on, using this to at least get some more card advantage. Next up, continuing with our Angel cards, we get Angelic Strike. It's a 6-cost Angel spell that says select up to 2 enemy followers on the field and destroy them. If there's a fallen Angel card in your cemetery, give your leader 2 defense. So with this being a 6-cost spell, I mean, by the time you get to turn 6, this should not be hard to just get the full benefit. But it is a little bit of a weird spot being 6, because by that point you tend to start to want to get to your boss monsters or your late game cards, and so to spend turn 6 to just destroy 2 followers and gain 2 life, like, cool, I suppose. I mean, it's probably going to be running Angels just because it's very it's just a lowest common denominator card. It's new, it's an Angel, run it, but for any other kind of deck, I mean, maybe Control. Now that I'm just like trying to really stretch it, I mean, at least killing 2 enemy followers is nice, but like I said, it feels like even with Control, there's probably just better like monsters, but followers you could run instead. So I think this is just kind of pretty much relegated to just an Angel based deck. Alright, next up is Pure Shot Angel, a 5-cost 5/5 Angel follower that says Fanfare, select an enemy follower on field and deal 3, and you can evolve for 1, and on evolve, you select an enemy follower on the field and deal 3 damage to it and its leader. I can definitely see this being ran in Angels. Obviously, it's an Angel. I don't see why you wouldn't. This is more like a mid-game Angel card. But for what it's worth, though, I mean, the stats are pretty good at 5-cost 5/5 and getting +1/+1 on evolve, and dealing a total of 6 damage and 3 of it to a leader. Like, you could run this probably in Control to some degree before your kind of like your bigger followers. But yeah, not like a bad card, but just nothing like super crazy to write home about. And the final angel from this set is Corruption Guardian. It's a 5 cost 3/6 follower, so slightly odd stats. Fallen Angel with Ward, and it says Fanfare, discard an Angel or Fallen Angel card, give your leader 3 defense, draw a card, and recover 2 play points. So pretty good defense for the Ward. The Fanfare effect is optional for anyone who doesn't know. If you have a colon after a cost, that means the cost is optional. So if you like your hand, you just want to put them out just to like have a 6 defense Ward, you can. You don't have to like sacrifice your hand. You can use Fallen Shot to recover a card that you discard from this guy. So, a little bit of recursion there where, whatever you discard isn't necessarily gone forever. And with the 2 play points recovered, you could play a One-Winged Trader to check top card and see if it's a Angel or Fallen Angel and get it, which, if you're running a pure Angel deck, you're probably going to get it. So, it's kind of like a free extra summon with the 3 life as well. And yeah, I mean, I suppose you could also run, like I mentioned here, you could run Rosa, Mechwing Maiden, and evolve her if you still have an Evo point. But it's kind of not the best play. Probably, honestly, I think One-Winged Trader is better than Rosa at this point. So, but just trying to throw out some little neat combos with the card. But overall, probably still used within Angel decks. And we're on to the last card, Winged Courier. It's a 2 cost 3/2 follower with strike, draw a card. I personally like this card, at least the premise of it, of having a 2 cost above stat follower that can get you free draw. However, I will also admit that anyone worth their salt who has any bit of damage to destroy followers will probably instantly target this and not let this live past the turn. But one neat little thing I thought of, at least, was you could always do Wings of Lust, give this rush and have it at least run into something, and so you can get the draw. Probably not the greatest combo, but I was just trying to think of like, okay, can I get this thing to move faster than having to wait a turn? And I just kind of thought of Wings of Lust. So but overall, it's probably not going to be like super relevant. I just threw in Control here just for a little bit of extra draw that you could potentially get, or at least this does kind of make your opponent kind of target it to want to get rid of it. So you might be able to kind of give them like an ultimatum of, do you destroy something big, or do you destroy Winged Courier and just have them not draw next turn? So, pros and cons. But yeah, I kind of, if somebody finds a deck that works with this card, I will laugh and like be amazed. It will be great. But I just don't see something super crazy with it, at least at the moment. And there you have it. That's all the neutrals for the set. For Abysscraft, they generally speaking are not super relevant or super crazy, other than Zelganeo, really. But, a lot of the cards support Angels. I think Angels could at least be a cool deck. So, might as well at least just throw it out there as a possibility if you want to run it as like an Abysscraft deck. But I probably will just run it as just like a fun, like no leader meme neutral deck. But, hey, if you want to try it in Abysscraft, give it a shot. But otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and have a good day. Bye.